hold his brows, he'll swoon. Why you look pale? Seasick, I think, coming from Muscovy. This pour the stars down plagues for perjury. Can any face of brass hold longer out? Here stand I, lady. Dart thy skill at me, bruise me with scorn, confound me with a flout. Thrust thy sharp wit quite through my ignorance, cut me to pieces with thy keen conceit. And I will wish thee never more to dance, nor nevermore in Russian habit wait. Oh, never will I trust to speeches penned, nor to the motion of a schoolboy's tongue, nor never come in visor to my friend, nor woo in rhyme like a blind harper's song, taffeta phrases, silken terms precise. Three-piled hyperbole, spruce affectation, figures pedantical, these summer flies have blown me full of maggot ostentation. I do forswear them, and I here protest by this white glove how white the hand God knows. Henceforth my wooing mind shall be expressed in russet yeas and honest cursey noes. And to begin, wench, so God help me law, my love to thee is sound sans crack or flaw. Sans, I pray you. Yet I have a trick of the old rage, bear with me, I am sick, I'll leave it by degrees. Soft, let us see right, Lord, have mercy on us, and on those three. They are infected, in their hearts it lies, they have the plague, and caught it of your eyes. These lords are visited, you are not free, for the Lord's tokens on you do I see. No, they are free that gave the tokens to us. Our states are forfeit, seek not to undo us. It is not so, for how can this be true, that you stand forfeit being those that sue? Peace, for I will not have to do all with you. Nor shall not, if I do as I intend. Speak for yourselves, my wit is at an end. Teach us, sweet madam, for our rude transgression some fair excuse. The fairest in confession? Were not you here, but even now disguised? Madam, I was. And were you well advised? I was, fair madam. When you then were here, what did you whisper in your lady's ear? That more than all the world I did respect her. When the king, when she shall challenge this, you will reject her. Upon mine honour, no. Peace, peace, forbear, your oath once broke, you force not to forswear. Despise me when I break this oath of mine. I will, and therefore keep it, Rosaline. What did the Russian whisper in your ear? Madam, he swore. He did not hold me dear, as precious eyesight, and did value me above this world, adding thereto, moreover, that he would wed me, or else did my lover. God give thee joy of him. The noble lord most honourably doth uphold his word. What mean you, madam, by my life, my troth? I never swore this lady such an oath. By heaven you did, and to confirm it plain, you gave me this. But take it, sir, again. My faith, and this the princess I did give, I knew her by this jewel on her sleeve. Pardon me, sir, this jewel she did not wear. And Lord Brown, I thank him, is my dear. What, will you have me or your pearl again? Neither of either. I remit both twain, I seek the trick on it. Here was a consent, knowing aforehand of our merriment, to dash it like a Christmas comedy. Some carried tale, some pleased men, some slight zany, some mumble news, some trencher knight, some dick that smiles his cheek and ears and nose, a trick to make my lady laugh when she's disposed. Told our intents before, which once disclosed, the ladies did change favours, and then we, following the signs, wooed but the sign of she, now to our perjury to add more terror. We are again forsworn, in will and error, much upon this 'tis, and might not you forestall our sport to make us this thus untrue? Do not you know my lady's foot by the squire, and laugh upon the apple of her eye, and stand between our backs, sir, and the fire, holding a trencher, jesting merrily? You put our page out. Go. You are allowed. Die when you will. A smock shall be your shroud. You leer upon me, do you? There's an eye wounds like a leaden sword. Full merrily hath this brave manage, this career been run. Though he is tilting straight, peace, I have done. Welcome, pure wit, thou partest a fair fray. Oh, Lord, sir, they would know whether the three worthies shall come in or no. What, are there but three? No, sir, but it is vara fine, for every one presents thee. And 3 times thrice is 9. Not so, sir, under correction, sir, I hope it is not so. You cannot beg us, sir, I can assure you, sir, we know what we know. I hope, sir, 3 times thrice, sir, is not 9. Under correction, sir, we know where until it doth amount. By Jove, I always took 3 times 3 threes for 9. Oh, Lord, sir, it were pity you should get your living by reckoning, sir. How much is it? Oh, Lord, sir, the parties themselves, the actors, sir, will show where until it doth amount. For mine own part, I am, as they say, but to perfect one man in one poor man, Pompton the Great, sir. Art thou one of the worthies? It please them to think me worthy of Pompey the Great. For mine own part, I know not the degree of the worthy, but I am to stand for him. Go bid them prepare. We will turn it finely off, sir, we will take some care. Round they will shame us, let them not approach. We are shame-proof, my lord, and 'tis some policy to have one show worse than the king's and his company. I say they shall not come. Nay, my good lord, let me o'errule you now. That sport best pleases that doth least know how. Where zeal strives to content, and the contents dies in the zeal of that which it presents, their form confounded makes most form and mirth, when great things labouring perish in their birth. A right description of our sport, my lord. Anointed, I implore so much expense of thy royal sweet breath as with will utter a brace of words. Doth this man serve God? Why ask you? He speaks not like a man of God his making. That is all one, my fair sweet honey monarch, for I protest the schoolmaster is exceeding fantastical too vain, but we will put it, as they say, to fortuna de la guerra. I wish you the peace of mind, most royal compliment. Here is like to be a good presence of worthies. He presents Hector of Troy, the swain Pompey the Great, the parish curate Alexander, Amado's page Hercules, the pedant Judas Maccabeus. And if these 4 worthies in their first show thrive, these 4 will change habits and present the other 5. There is 5 in the first show. You are deceived, 'tis not so. The pedant, the braggart, the hedge priest, the fool, and the boy. Abate throwet novum, and the whole world again cannot pick out 5 such. Take each one in his vein. The ship is under sail, and here she comes amain. I, Pompey, am... You lie, you are not he. I, Pompey, am with leopard's head on knee. Well said, old marker, I must needs be friends with thee. I, Pompey, am Pompey, surnamed the Great. It is great, sir, Pompey, surnamed the Great, that often field with targe and shield did make my foe to sweat, and travelling along the coast, I hear him come by chance, and lay my arms before the legs of the sweet lass of France. If your ladyship would say thanks, Pompey, I had done. Great thanks, great Pompey. 'Tis not so much worth, but I hope I was perfect. I made a little fault in great. My hat to a halfpenny. Pompey proves the best worthy. When in the world I lived, I was the world's commander. By east, west, north, and south, I spread thy conquering night. My scruncheon plain declares that I am Alexander. Your nose says no, you are not, for it stands to right. Your nose smells no in this most tender-smelling night. The conqueror is dismayed. Proceed, good Alexander. When in the world I lived, I was the world's commander. Most true, 'tis right, you were so, Alexander. Pompey the Great, your servant and costard. Take away the conqueror, take away Alexander. O sir, you have overthrown Alexander the Conqueror. You will be scraped out of the painted cloth for this. Your lion that holds his Pollux sitting on a close stool will be given to Ajax. He will be the ninth worthy, a conqueror and afeard to speak. Run away for shame, Alexander. There, and it shall please you, a foolish mild man, an honest man, look you and soon dashed. He is a marvellous good neighbour, faith, and a very good bowler. But for Alexander, alas, you see how 'tis a little overparted. But their worthies a-coming will speak their mind in some other sort. Stand aside, good Pompey. Great Hercules is presented by this imp, whose club killed Cerberus, the three-headed Canis, and when he was a babe, a child, a shrimp. Thus did he strangle serpents in his menace. Quoniam hath he seemeth in minority. Ergo I come with this apology. Keep some state in thy exit and vanish. Judas, I am a Judas. Not Iscariot, sir. Judas I am. Yclept Maccabeus. Judas Maccabeus, clipped a plain Judas, is plain Judas. A kissing traitor, how art thou proved, Judas? Judas I am. The more shame for you, Judas. What mean you, sir? To make Judas hang himself. Begin, sir, you are my elder. Well followed, Judas was hanged on an elder. I will not be put out of countenance, because thou hast no face. What is this? A cittern head, the head of a bodkin, a death's face in a ring, the face of an old Roman coin scarce seen, the pommel of Caesar's falchion, the carved bone face on a flask, St. George's half cheek in a brooch, aye, and in a brooch of lead, aye, and worn in a cap of toothed draw. And now forward, for we have put thee in countenance. You have put me out of countenance. False, we have given thee faces, but you have outfaced them all. And thou wert a lion, we would do so. Therefore, as he is an ass, let him go, and so adieu, sweet Jude. Nay, why dost thou stay? For the latter end of his name? For the ass to the Jude, give it him, Judas, away. This is not generous, not gentle, not humble. A light from a sewer Judas, it grows dark, he may stumble. Alas, poor Maccabeus, how hath he been baited? Hide thy head, Achilles, here comes Hector in arms. Though my marks come home by me, I will now be merry. Hector was but a Trojan in respect of this. What is this, Hector? I think Hector was not so clean-timbered. His leg is too big for Hector's. More calf, certain. No, he is best endued in the small. This cannot be Hector. He's a god or a painter, for he makes faces. The omnipotent Mars. of lances the Almighty gave Hector a gift. A gift. Nutmeg. A lemon. Stuck with cloves. No cloven. Peace. The omnipotent Mars of lances the Almighty gave Hector a gift, the heir of Ilion, a man so brave that certain he would fight, yea, from morn till night out of his pavilion. I am that flower, that mint, that columbine. Sweet Lord Longueville, rain thy tongue. I must rather give it to the rain, for it runs against Hector. Aye, and Hector's a greyhound. The sweetest war man is dead and rot, and sweet chucks beat not the bones of the buried. When he breathed he was a man, but I will forward with my device. Sweet royalty, bestow on me the sense of hearing. Speak, brave Hector, we are much delighted. I do adore thy sweet grace's slipper. Loves her by the foot, he may not by the yard. This Hector for surmounted Hannibal, the party is gone. Fellow Hector, she is gone, she is 2 months on her way. What meanest thou? Faith, unless you play the honest Troyan, the poor wench is cast away. She's quick, the child brags in her belly already, 'tis yours. Dost thou infamonize me among potentates? Thou shalt die. Then shall Hector be whipped for Jaquinetta, that is quick by him, and hanged for Pompey, that is dead by him. Most rare Pompey, renowned Pompey, greater than great, 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 great Pompey, great Pompey the huge. Hector trembles. Pompey is moved. More at ease, more at ease. Stir them on, stir them on. Hector would challenge him. Aye, if he move no more, man's blood in his belly, then will supper flee. By the North Pole I do challenge thee. I will not fight with a pole like a northern man. I'll slash, I'll do it by the sword. I bepray you. Let me borrow my arms again. Room for the incensed worthies. I'll do it in my shirt. Most resolute Pompey. Master, let me take you a buttonhole lower. Do you not see Pompey is unceasing for the combat? What mean you? You will lose your reputation. Gentlemen and soldiers, pardon me, I will not combat in my shirt. You may not deny it. Pompey hath made the challenge. Sweet bloods, I both may and will. What reason have you for it? The naked truth of it is, I have no shirt. I go word for penance. True. And it was enjoined him in Rome for want of linen, since when I'll be sworn. He wore none but a dish clout of Jaquinettas, that he wears next his shirt his heart for a favour. God save you, madam. Welcome, Marcade, but that thou interruptest our merriment. I am sorry, madam, for the news I bring is heavy in my tongue. The king, your father, dead for my life. Even so, my tale is told. Worthies, away, the scene begins to cloud. For mine own part, I breathe free breath. I have seen the day of wrong through the little hole of discretion, and I will right myself like a soldier. How fares your majesty? Boyer, prepare. I will away tonight. Madam, not so, I do beseech you stay. Prepare, I say. I thank you, gracious lords, for all your fair endeavours, and entreat, out of a new sad soul, that you vouchsafe in your wisdom to excuse or hide the liberal opposition of our spirits, if over boldly we have borne ourselves in the converse of breath. Your gentleness was guilty of it. Farewell, worthy lord, a heavy heart bears not a humble tongue, excuse me so coming too short of thanks for my great suit so easily obtained. The extreme parts of time extremely forms or causes to the purpose of his speed, and often at his very loose decides that which long process could not arbitrate. And though the morning brow of progeny forbid the smiling courtesy of love, the holy suit which fain it would convince, yet since love's argument was first on foot, let not the cloud of sorrow jostle it from what it proposed, so, since to wail friends lost is not by much so wholesome profitable as to rejoice at friends but newly found. I understand you not, my griefs are double. Honest, plain words best pierce the ear of grief, and by these badges understand the king. For your fair sakes have we neglected time, played foul play with our oaths. Your beauty, ladies, hath much deformed us, fashioning our humours even to the opposed end of our intents. And what in us hath seemed ridiculous, as love is full of unbefitting strains, all wanton as a child skipping and vain, formed by the eye, and therefore like the eye, full of strange shapes of habits and of forms, varying in subjects as the eye doth roll. To every varied object in his glance, which party-coated presence of loose love put on by us, if in your heavenly eyes have misbecomed our oaths and gravities, those heavenly eyes that look into these faults suggested us to make. Therefore, ladies, our love being yours, the error that love makes is likewise yours. We to ourselves prove false by being once false, forever to be true. To those that make us both, fair ladies, you, and even that falsehood in itself a sin, thus purifies itself and turns to grace. We have received your letters full of love, your favours, the ambassadors of love, and in our maiden council raise them at courtship, pleasant jest and courtesy, as bombast and as lining to the time. But more devout man than this in our respects have we not been, and therefore met your loves in their own fashion, like a merriment. Our letters, madam, showed much more than jest.
You're talking to me.
So did our looks. We did not quote them so. Now, what the latest minute of the hour grant us your loves. A time, methinks, too short to make a world without end bargaining. Now, my lord, your grace is perjured much, full of dear guiltiness, and therefore this. If for my love as there is no such cause, you will do aught, this shall do, you do for me. Your oath I will not trust, but go with speed. To some forlorn and naked hermitage, remote from all the pleasures of the world. There stay until the 12 celestial signs have brought about the annual reckoning in this austere and sociable life. Change not your offer made in heat of blood. If frosts and fasts, hard lodging, and thin weeds nip not the gaudy blossoms of your love, but that it bear this trial and last love, then at the expiration of the year, come challenge me by these deserts, and by this virgin palm I now kissing thine, I will be thine. Until that instant shut my woeful self up in a mourning house, raining the tears of lamentation for the remembrance of my father's death. If this thou do deny, let our hands part, neither entitled in the other's heart. If this or more than this I would deny, to flatter up these powers of mine with rest, the sudden hand of death close up mine eye, hence hermit then, my heart is in thy breast. But what to me, my love? But what to me? A wife? A beard, fair health, and honesty. With threefold love I wish you all these three. Oh, shall I say, I thank you, gentle wife? Not so, my lord. A 12-month and a day, I'll mark no words that smooth-faced wooers say. Come when the king doth to my lady come, then, if I have much love, I'll give you some. I'll serve thee true and faithfully till then. Yet swear not, lest you be forsworn again. What says Maria? At the 12 months' end, I'll change my black gown for a faithful friend. I'll stay with patience, but the time is long. The like of you, few taller are so young. Studies, my lady. Mistress, look on me. Behold the window of my heart, mine eye. What humble suit attends thy answer there? Impose some service on me for thy love. Oft have I heard of you, my lord, Brown, before I saw you, and the world's large tongue proclaims you for a man replete with mocks, full of comparisons and wounding flouts, which you and all estates will execute that lie within the mercy of your wit, to weed this wormwood from your fruitful brain, and therewithal to win me, if you please, without the which I am not to be won. You shall this 12-month term from day to day visit the speechless sick and still converse with groaning wretches, and your task shall be with all the fierce endeavour of your will to enforce the pained impotent to smile, to move wild laughter in the throat of death. It cannot be, it is impossible. Mirth cannot move a soul in agony. Why, that's the way to choke a gibing spirit, whose influence is begot of that loose grace which shallow, laughing hearers give to fools. A jest's prosperity lies in the car, in the ear of him that hears it, never in the tongue of him that makes it. That if sickly ears, deft with the clamours of their own dear groans, will hear your idle scorns, continue then, and I will have you in that fault withal. But if they will not, throw away that spirit, and I shall find you empty of that fault, right joyful of your reformation. A 12-month? Well, befall what will befall. I'll jest a 12-month in an hospital. Aye, sweet my lord. And so I take my leave. No, madam, we will bring you on your way. Our wooing doth not end like an old play. Jack hath not chill. These ladies' courtesy might well have made our sport a comedy. Come, so it wants 12-month and a lady, and then 'twill end. That's too long for a play. Sweet Majesty, vouchsafe me. Was not that Hector, the worthy knight of Troy? I will kiss thy royal finger and take leave. I am a votary. I vow to Jaquinetta to hold the plough for her sweet love 3 years. But most esteemed greatness, will you hear the dialogue that the two learned men have compiled in praise of the owl and the cuckoo? It should have followed in the end of our show. Call them forth quickly, we will do so. Hola, approach. The words of Mercury are harsh after the songs of Apollo. You that way, we this way.